Okay, last topic is reproductive cloning, which is a very interesting kind of issue. Reproductive cloning could make it possible in the future to reproduce an identical human being. Can you imagine being taught by two Mr. Lanes at the same time? Like that guy over there and me at the same time? Obviously, that's a good joke if you're in the classroom and this video is playing. Um, Obviously, there's lots of the arguments that you would use for and against reproductive cloning are quite like the arguments that we've used throughout medical ethics. So, cloning is currently reproductive cloning of humans is illegal, and the arguments that a Christian might use against it is that it's playing God. It's against sanctity of life if it involves growing something from an embryo and losing it several times. I could argue as well that it's you could start creating a dangerous master race of like half tiger, half humans or something like this through reproductive cloning. I could make a master race of Mr. Lanes that could take over the world. That's quite scary. At the same time, I could. The good things about it is that it could be something that's an advancement in science. It could be used for excellent ideas of medical research. You could create a second Mr. Lane that if Mr. Lane had lung failure, one lung could be from the clone Mr. Lane could be used. Also, I could say that it is something that could be a fantastic thing. Imagine 1,000 Mr. Lanes all teaching you at the same time. Could be really exciting. But it raises really interesting philosophical questions about identity as well. Who's the real Mr. Lane? Is it me, or is it the one who's in your classroom? Let's imagine we're both clones. That's a really interesting question that we could be exploring here. Secondly, it could be a question about if the clone is more valuable than the original. So is the original Mr. Lane more valuable than the second Mr. Lane that's been made? This could be an important thing to be considering. So it raises very important metaphysical and ethical questions about the way that we should live and the way that we identify ourselves. And this is really key to the kind of playing God argument in general. Whilst you might disagree with the playing God argument, it does kind of lead to, there are things that seem unnatural that could raise very important ethical and metaphysical questions about the way that we live. And that's why cloning is so important.